We are witnessing something special here, folks, as the Phoenix Suns once again are playing fantastic, as Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are really leading this team when they need it most, beating the Brooklyn Nets tonight. And the Phoenix Suns, amidst all the trade rumors, amidst everything, just need to have some quality games and some quality wins to get into the right note. And we're going to be breaking down this game on this episode of Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Velez with my co-host Curtis Jones. Curtis, how you doing? What was your initial reaction for the game here, real quick?
My initial reaction for the game was how we came out the gate. I think, if I'm not mistaken, at a point we were up 20-2, if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
mistaken. Bussing cheeks. I don't want to go too crazy. Bussing cheeks. But they were playing so well as a unit. The ball movement was immaculate. And there was a lot of hustle on the defensive end, which is something that I enjoy. I love defense the most in the NBA, something that's been lacking as of late for the league. But I feel like certain teams do put that certain energy in on the defensive end. And tonight the Suns were doing it. But my initial feeling of after the game, 15 rebounds. 15 rebounds is the storyline for me tonight because that's in 22 minutes from Nick Richards, man.
Yeah, we're gonna get into all of that as the Suns did play some fantastic defense, and your boy Nick Richards, man, he's making those immediate impacts for this Suns team right away. But fans, let's dive in. Let's get in onto news. Make sure to grab that snack as we get into it. And like Curtis and I said, this is nice to see. This is amazing to witness as the Suns once again got that big win versus the Brooklyn Nets here tonight. And if we dive in and look at it, 108 to 84, like Curtis was saying, almost up 20-2. The Nets kind of crawled back a little bit here in the third quarter, but Devin Booker and this team took care of it. Curtis, we look at the team stats here. You can see the Suns outshot the Nets. They were out rebounded, even though our boy Nick Richards got 15 points. They were outscored points in the paint, but they did hold everything else. When looking at this box score here, like we mentioned, we talked about Nick Richards. What else screams out to you here?
When we're talking about Nick Richards, exactly.
Just anyone in general.
Oh, anyone in general, Booker. Booker to me though, he was having a very efficient night. I mean, my man was 14 for 24. Beautiful, beautiful shooting on the night. 3 for 8 from 3. That's good percentage. Not one of his greatest nights. He's had better, but that's still great shooting. So I'm just excited to see that. First off, we look at that and Beal was not able to play tonight, okay? And we watched Booker do what Booker does and hold the team down on his back. That is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I love to see Devin Booker and Kevin Durant really gel with each other. We're seeing both of these superstars over this last couple stretch of games really just come together as a duo tandem and be able to really play off each other. And it's just nice to see this Suns team be able to beat a Nets team confidently, a team that's tanking after, the last couple stretches versus the Hornets and the Hawks and the Pistons where we've seen some close games where the Suns have faced some bad losses and even some scary losses. It's nice to see them actually be able to take care of business tonight.
Yep, they definitely did their thing tonight. I was a fan of the defensive end, like I said earlier, a fan of how they played in transition. The ball movement, one of my favorite things. Bruce, go ahead and break it down for us. Let's get into the next piece here.
All right, all right. And like we mentioned, talking about this as well, kind of look at some of these other players as well that really stepped up. Looking at Mason Plumlee off the bench, and he was very impactful. Monte Morris got some big time minutes. Ryan Dunn missed some shots, but your boy, Nick Richards. Let's dive into more on him because he's made some immediate impacts, like we've mentioned, on this channel so far tonight. 15 rebounds in his first state with the team. 11 rebounds as well when they took on the Detroit Pistons when he was coming off the bench. Yes, unfortunately, versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, he was going up against Jared Allen. He was going against some dominant bigs. It was a little bit difficult for him to get, and he was getting some early fouls. But seeing him go up against the likes of some of these other bigs, like on the Nets and on the Pistons, do you realistically think that Nick Richards can be a solidified starting big for this Suns team?
Solidified is tough. Solidified, I don't know. I actually like him as where we're playing him. I like him in the 22 minutes. One of the things that you guys are going to get accustomed to me talking about until something is done about it. I think we do need a powerhouse big on the Suns. I think that's actually the bigger issue. When we picked up Beal, I couldn't believe that that's the play we went for. I don't have any issue with Beal. I think Beal is a good player. I think he's a really, really good player. I don't want to say great because I don't personally believe such, but I think he's a very, very good player. But when they went for him, I couldn't understand why. Because at the time, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Joel Embiid on the chopping block? Wasn't he? He
I
was a
don't
free agent at the time, wasn't he?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to look into that. But I know that when Beal was available, there wasn't a lot of options for the Suns to be able to get because they had
Yeah.
only the Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton contracts really to move.
I do understand. I do understand. I know at some point, I might be talking about the wrong season there, but I know he was available at some point. I know there was just bigs available on the board that we could have gotten. And I don't understand why we went for more perimeter play and we could have got a big. And now Nick Richards is here. We get another piece for the paint. We'll really be looking really, really, really good. I think that's the solid look to go for in the future. But when you ask, is he a solidified big for the Suns? He's going to be a good off the bench. That's what I'm looking for. Nice 26, 27 minutes. If we can get him to that point, he's at 22 tonight. That's what I'm looking for from him.
So I got another question for you, Curtis, kind of following up on that because we've seen a big on this Suns team and Yusuf Nurkic, who was falling off the starting lineup into the bench, gotten some DNPs, isn't even traveling with the team at this point. He's out with some conditioning things, some illness issues. The Suns will
Yeah.
obviously see Yusuf Nurkic when they come back to Phoenix, but do you think he could be that replacement kind of big for this Suns team here in that secondary unit? Or do you think they're going to have to possibly go explore and get another big like that? Do you think Yusuf Nurkic is going to be a little too stubborn or a little too sour for coming off the bench?
I would say it'd be insane if he was sour about coming off the bench. I think we're talking about the Suns here. I've talked about in the last video. I talked about the old school Suns, right? Gortat went and got him a max contract because Steve Nash made him look like he was supposed to be like that. Nurkic will only ever look like he's supposed to be a solidified, guaranteed starting big if somebody can create a pick and roll game with him, which right now we do not have that. He should be okay with any position he gets. He should be able to get solid minutes. That is a 27, maybe 25 minutes a game type player. I like Nurkic a lot, but there's no way that he shouldn't be okay with going to the bench, is where I'm going with it.
I completely agree. I think he should be accepting of it, but from what we've seen so far, maybe due to the DMPs, maybe due to this illness, I don't necessarily know, but I don't necessarily really believe that type of. I think that he is a little bit sour on it, and I think that the Suns. I would think I would welcome him coming off the bench playing alongside Nick Richards in that little tandem. But if it doesn't obviously work out to that way, the Suns may have to explore some other moves. For tonight's contest for this, is there anything else that you would like to break down and go over, Curtis, on the game? See you writing on that little whiteboard of yours. Is there anything you crafting up?
Well, I was erasing. I was going to get to writing, and you just asked me a very intriguing question. So I didn't get to write down what I wanted to write down. But just in general, looking at how we played tonight, I'm looking to see. I'm still just watching how Nick Richards keeps playing, and he surprised me tonight. 15 rebounds is nothing to sneeze at. That is the one that I'm. That's my biggest thing for this game. That's what I want to keep seeing from him, and I do want to see what he could do. I would like to see him start in the next game, right? I want to see what he can do if he gets 35 minutes. You know, I want to see what he can do if he gets full-time employee minutes in the next game, and then we'll figure out where we need to go from there. But I'm loving how he's gelling. I'm loving how he's rocking with the squad, and I love how KD. KD great in the earlier half, didn't play bad in the second half, but he didn't stay on par. It was just a nice, solid night. Booker super efficient, and the rest of the team definitely did what was needed to be done. But I'm definitely looking for the future of Nick Richards on the Suns.
I think I am too, and I'm looking forward for more things happening with this Phoenix Suns team as well. So stay tuned on Suns Digest as the news is still piling in on all this mess with Jimmy Butler Bradley Beal, and the Phoenix Suns as the mess is coming through, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. Could the Suns be in pursuit of other players as well? We'll have it all breaking down for you here on Suns Digest. So let us know what your initial thoughts are on for the game, as we think it was amazing to witness this big game for the Phoenix Suns as they went and beat the Brooklyn Nets in a fantastic fashion on the road. Signing off from Suns Digest, it's your boys Bruce and Curtis. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your night, and go Phoenix Suns.